is nigh. Soon grow the days, the solstice now is nigh. Join in the song and gather round the fire. Sing we now of Yuletide, sing we now of light. Oh, hello there. It's lovely to see you. You're looking quite festive today for the winter festival. I love this time of year. All kinds of energy in the air as we look back on our past year and look forward with determination. Are you ready for the winter festival tonight? Oh, I'm sorry. You look as though you've been a bit worn out from this year. I'm sorry to hear that. This time of year can be joyful and full of merriment and warmth, but it can also leave us feeling a bit disappointed, frustrated. Perhaps it's a bit difficult to look towards the future with hope for you. I'm sorry. Well, perhaps before we head to the festival then, maybe I could help get your soul and your spirit a bit more ready. We could do a simple cleanse, perhaps some crystal healing, maybe even a bit of divination. This is a wonderful time for it after all. And then maybe we can get you feeling a bit more optimistic of the future. How does that sound? Good, good. I want to make sure that whatever we do tonight, you are prepared and you feel fulfilled, not like you're forced to do something and force a smile when you don't feel like it, okay? Okay. Well, perhaps we should start with some simple cleansing, shall we? Right. Here we are. I know you're familiar with this. Some lovely sage. It's a beautiful, earthy, fresh scent to it, even before it starts burning. As you know, it is wonderful for cleansing out negative energy and helping to open our spirits for some healing work. The white smoke of the sage is very strong, but it's a nice, clean smoke, something that can fill the lungs and fill the soul. There we are. If you'd like, you can take some nice deep breaths. Good. And as you're taking those deep breaths, if you'd like, you can picture this white smoke as it wafts over you, that it's clearing away anything from this past year that seems to be bogging you down, hurting your spirit. Another deep breath in. Good. Just let that gentle sage wash away anything that needs to be removed. Start to open up your spirit for a bit of restorative healing. Good. Alright. Do you mind if I take a bit of a close look at your aura here? See if I can tell sort of the root of what's been bothering you. Okay, don't worry, it won't be anything intrusive. Just going to use my hand and place it close to you to feel your energy, okay? Alright. Just want to look at you around here. What exactly seems to be bothering my friend? Well, unfortunately I can't just snap my fingers and take away all of your problems. I wish that I could for you. But with a deeper understanding of yourself and a bit of healing, perhaps we can help to at least lessen the burden a bit, okay? Right. It looks like there's a lot of stress from this past year. Frustrations, maybe people disappointing you. Perhaps feelings of loneliness, feeling stuck, frustrated. Yes, there's quite a lot here. But this is a wonderful time of year to reflect on the good and the bad. And we'll see if we can't turn things around for the new year. Alright. Okay. I'm going to start with some crystals. Now this is a lovely smoky quartz. You can see it's a beautiful clear stone that's got some greyish hues in it. Now smoky quartz is wonderful for drawing out things that cause us pain, drawing out energy that is not serving us anymore, whether that be frustration or stress, or just energy that feels stuck, feels stagnant, like it's holding you back from letting your energy flow naturally and cleanly. So I'm going to start out just bringing this nice and close to you and drawing it out, okay? Now you don't have to do anything for this if you don't want to. You can imagine that the crystal is drawing out the negativity, the stress, the burdens, the heaviness in the soul, if you'd like. You can also take some deep breaths if you would like to. Breathing in and out. Good. Breathing in and out. You can also, if you'd like, picture as you're breathing out that you're pushing away that sort of negativity, pushing away the darkness. You know, this time of year, it is, of course, the darkest time of the year, but it's also the time that we celebrate the return of the sun. The days are going to start to lengthen again as the world starts to wake up. Solstice could be a time of darkness and despair, but we know that the sun will return. So even in the midst of whatever it is that you're going through, it's a bit encouraging to know that even nature takes times of darkness to bring about the light. Right, breathing in and out. Good, good, good. In and out. Good. Well, it's a start. One little stone, unfortunately, like I said, can't just magically fix all of your problems, but it can hopefully help realign your energy and help you refocus on what is ahead. Now, perhaps we could also use this beautiful little crystal. It's a striking, opaque black stone that's got little specks of grey on it, and this is called Snowflake obsidian. Now, obsidian is a very protective and grounding stone, and Snowflake obsidian in particular helps refresh the energy and bring us back to our center, helping us to reflect and then continue in a way that is healthy, right? So we're just going to focus on this very, very grounding stone. Let it help you find your center, your inner peace. This time of year particularly can always feel quite busy, sometimes even a bit frantic, but we all still have that peace within us, that connection to nature and to the light that will return. Good. Alright, I'm going to add in a lovely amethyst stone as well. Amethyst, as I'm sure you know, is a stone of peace and healing. And this time of year, especially paired with the Snowflake obsidian, it can also bring about protection. Protection from the darkness within, or the darkness around us. And hopefully help bring about a feeling of stability with your peace. Good. Alright, now I'd like you to pick one, either this lovely amethyst or the beautiful Snowflake obsidian, and follow it with your eyes, okay? Just do the best that you can as I move them around, and focus on the energy of whichever one that you picked. If it's the amethyst, focus on peace and protection. If it's the Snowflake obsidian, focus on stability and grounding. Either way, hopefully this will bring about a little bit of healing and inner peace. Good. Now, I would like you to switch. If you were watching the obsidian, now you're watching the amethyst. And if you were watching the amethyst, now you're watching the obsidian, right? Good. Just do the best that you can, watching that crystal. Good. Good. Take another deep breath if you would like. Breathing in. And breathing out. Good. Breathing in. And breathing out. Good. Let's bring in a bit of energy, vitality, shall we? This is a beautiful fire phoenix feather. A fire phoenix feather. Now, the fire phoenix is a beautiful, powerful creature that reminds us of transformation. Also cycles, just like the solstice. A phoenix goes through times of birth and growth and power, and also stillness and death, only to be reborn. So the phoenix is a wonderful symbol of transformation, of not staying where we are and not fearing the dark, quiet times, knowing that the rebirth is coming as well. And of course, this beautiful, deep red is a wonderful colour for this time of year. Brings about feelings of energy, passion, all those kinds of things too. So I'm just going to take this and brush it over your face, alright? Just very gently. Brush, brush, brush that over your face. Brush that over your face. Good. And let that transformative energy bring you peace. That wherever you are, it's a cycle. All of life is a cycle. If you're in a good position, that's wonderful and it's something to be celebrated. If you're in a difficult position, it gets better. I promise, it gets better. It can be difficult to see that sometimes, I understand. That's why you need friends to help you see. And to be willing to sit with you in the dark when you can't find the light. It's alright. All of us are constantly changing, growing, resting. We are all part of the cycle of nature as well. Now, if you would like, perhaps we could ask for some guidance in the future as well. Yeah. I have here a very beautiful set of oracle cards. Now, these are called the Sacred Forest Oracle. All of them have different aspects of nature. Some of them the spirit of trees or plants, some of them the spirit of seasons or elements, some of them different places or different things that you might find in the forest. And all of them carry with them a different energy. So if you would like, during this most magical time of the year, perhaps we could ask the spirits of the forest for a bit of insight into your next year. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and shuffle them a bit more. And then I'll ask you to reach out with your hand, but also with your spirit a bit. And trust the spirits to offer you the guidance that you're going to need for the coming year. Now, this is of course not anything that is set in stone. Our fates are always in our hands. You can work towards something, or you can work towards avoiding something. But perhaps using oracle cards like this is a tool to help you focus your energy and to bring about the change that you would like. Alright. Now I'd like you to cut the deck for me there. Right, wonderful. I'm going to fan out the cards a little bit. And without thinking about it too much, let yourself choose a card. That one. Right. Put these away. Right. Let's see which card you picked, shall we? Ooh. The Crystal Cave. What a wonderful card for the new year. See, this is a card that's all about trust. You can see see a beautiful cave here, and there is darkness inside the cave. Caves have long been seen as portals, passageways to other worlds, or perhaps to spiritual power or enlightenment. They certainly bring with them a sense of mystery, but they also teach us to trust in ourselves. You see, this card is a card that reminds us to trust our own intuition. Even if we cannot see what is ahead of us, we can put faith in ourselves, in our own spirits, to know what to do when the time is right. Now, that's not something that comes overnight. Sometimes it can be difficult, especially if we have doubts, especially if we feel like we have made mistakes in the past. But perhaps this means that in this coming year, you are going to learn to trust yourself, not to be swayed by the doubters, any sort of pain or obstacles, knowing that you are strong enough to handle it. What a wonderful card. Deeply encouraging. Now, a very crucial part of this card is not just trusting in yourself, but also having patience with yourself. Intuition is obviously not entirely foolproof. Sometimes we make the choices that we do with the best of intentions, but we might not have all of the information at the time, and then it ends up feeling like it was a mistake. But if you learn to trust yourself and do what you judge to be right, eventually you will learn, and your intuition will grow as well. We must trust ourselves and be patient with ourselves. Perhaps that's the message for this coming year for you. Trust and patience. Believing in your intuition. Believing that you have the strength and the knowledge to take care of yourself. That's a good card. That's a very good card. Perhaps we'll use another crystal here. This one is a clear quartz point. You can see it, it has been through some things. It is not a perfect, clear, unharmed crystal. It is not entirely whole, but it is still a powerful amplifier of magic, an amplifier of focus and energy. It's a lovely little lesson that we don't always have to be perfect and polished in order to be effective. Sometimes the little cracks on our surface are part of being effective. We can help other people, we can teach from our own experiences, and we can learn and grow. Of course, a stone like this is not going to be, repaired in the same way that you and I can heal. But it's a lovely little reminder, don't you think? Alright, I'm going to use this point to direct some good clarity and guidance your way. As I do, I'd like you to think about your card, the crystal cave, trusting your own intuition, being patient with yourself. Good. Deep breath in and out. Good. Deep breath in and out. You can keep breathing deeply if you would like, but I'd also like you to follow the crystal, right? Follow it as it moves around, as it brings you focus and clarity. to the end of this year and the coming year. Yuletide is a wonderful time to let go and to prepare for the future, to feel driven, focused, ready for what's ahead. Even when things are hard, you have the strength to get through it. I promise you do. And when you need it, I will always be here to help however I can. Alright, one last little tool I have just to help cleanse away some of this that might still be bogging you down, so that we can go into the festival tonight and to the coming year without feeling held back, right? This is a lovely Besom Brush. Now I have some dried flowers on here that are actually from springtime, but it also has this beautiful symbol of the tree of life. It's a good reminder that life is a cycle, that even when we feel as though we are in the depths of winter, there is always a spring. Spring is still coming. So, I'm going to use this to brush away at your aura. It's a bit of an intense treatment, so we won't do it for very long. But these little twigs are from a fairy ash from the centre of the forest. And they are wonderful at raking out any sort of energy that's clinging to you in a way that it shouldn't be. Alright, so I'm just going to take this. If this feels too intense at any time, let me know and I'll stop, okay? Alright, but I do think that this will help. Just to get rid of some of this darkness hiding out, and remind you that there is always a spring on the horizon. There we go. Right. A few more little sweeps down here too, along your other chakras and energy points, just to make sure that we clear out as much as we can for you. There. How does that feel? Good. As I said, I don't want to ever do too much, but it is a nice little tool. Alright, my friend. Now, are you feeling a bit more prepared for the festival tonight? As I said, you don't need to force any sort of merriment for me, okay? We can have a quieter, more reflective festival, if that's what you would like. However you're feeling, whether it's ready to embrace the future or needing to sit in the dark for a little while, I'll be by your side. I'm always happy to sit in the dark. Alright. Good, my friend. Let's go. The fire is burning, the long night draws near. All who need comfort are welcome by here. We'll dance beneath the stars and toast the past year, for the spirit of Solstice is still living here. The poor and the hungry, the the sick and the lost. These are our children, no matter the cost. Come by the fire, the harvest to share, for the spirit of solstice is still living here. The spirit of solstice is still